An international court of arbitration has temporarily blocked the sale of uranium stockpiles over a dispute between the Niger government and French mining group Orano. The court in Washington, D.C. on Friday ordered Niamey to halt the sale of the uranium, which Orano claims has been stolen.
You ever notice how every time an African country tries to take full control of its own resources, suddenly the quote-unquote international community starts panicking? All these big institutions, World Bank, IMF, UN, start coming out of woodwork like, oh, we're here just to help. Yeah, right. Let's talk about Niger. Let's talk about France. And let's talk about how a so-called mining partnership turned into a decades-long exploitation until Niger finally said, enough. What's up, YouTube? What's up, everybody? I'm Patrick, and welcome to the channel. Welcome to the Daily Monologue. So, there's a French company called Uranium that's been mining uranium in Niger for decades. The same uranium powers France's nuclear reactors, lights up French homes, and fuels their entire energy grid. Meanwhile, Niger, the country that actually owns that uranium, has been getting scraps. Decades of extraction, billions made, and pennies paid in taxes. It's basically a modern-day colonial arrangement disguised as business. Now, fast forward to the last few years. The relations between Niger and France start falling apart. People are waking up, asking questions like, how is it our country is rich in uranium, yet our people live in darkness? Then comes General Abdulrahmani Chiani. He steps in, looks at the books, orders full inspections on Orano's operations, and what they find was massive irregularities, shady accounting, loopholes that let France get away with billions while Niger barely sees a dime. And so General Chiani makes a bold move. He nationalizes Orano, takes full control of the company, and kicks the French representative out. And for the first time in decades, Niger owns what's theirs. That's when everything changes.
An international court of arbitration has temporarily blocked the sale of uranium stockpiles over a dispute between the Niger government and French mining group Orano. The court in Washington, D.C. on Friday ordered Niamey to halt the sale of the uranium, which Orano claims has been stolen from it. The court also ordered the release of Orano's representative, who has been held in custody since May. In December last year, Niger's military junta took control of Orano's operation as part of a wider push to regulate the mining of raw materials by foreign entities. Since coming to power in 2023, Niger's military rulers have expelled French troops and forged closer ties with Russia and Turkey. Orano claims that more than 1,000 tons of uranium concentrate worth more than $200 million haven't been exported. The court may not issue its final decision for months or even years.
And of course, France is now mad about this whole situation, because without Niger's uranium, France's nuclear plant start feeling the pressure. You see, France depends on nuclear energy for about 70% of its electricity. So this isn't just about quote-unquote business. This hits French economy at its core. And then out of nowhere, the World Bank steps in and tells Niger to stop selling their uranium on the international market. Let that sink in. A foreign institution that claims to be neutral is now telling a sovereign African nation what it can or cannot do with its own resources. Like, who gave you that right? And so the question we should be asking, who's really pulling the strings here? because I think we all know who benefit from that kind of interference. See, this is the part people don't like to talk about. Most of these so-called international organizations were created by the West, for the West, and to serve Western interest at the end of the day. Period. The World Bank, the IMF, the UN, even NGOs that pretend to be neutral, all of them played their part in maintaining control and power structure for the West. It's economic colonialism 2.0. You don't need to invade a country anymore. You just control their loans, their policies, and their trade deals. And if they play along, they get the quote-unquote development aid. And if they push back, suddenly they get labeled as unstable, corrupt, or a threat to democracy. That's the game. And Niger just broke the rules. But here's what's powerful. Niger isn't standing alone. The whole Sahel region is waking up. Mali, Burkina Faso, and Niger, they are all rejecting the old system. They've pulled out of the International Criminal Court because they realized that that court was never about justice. It was about control. International Criminal Court is a tool the West uses to target African leaders while their own war criminals walk free. And so the Sahel nations are saying, we decide our own destiny. We control our land and we own our resources. And that's exactly what terrifies Western powers. Because the minute Africa starts moving as one, economically, militarily, the game is over. So here is the takeaway. What's happening in Niger is bigger than just uranium. It's about sovereignty, it's about dignity, and it's about nations standing up after decades of being told they are too poor, they are too weak, or they are too dependent to manage their own affairs. And you know what's crazy? The more the West pushes back, the more exposed their intentions become. Here is what I want you to do. Share this story and talk about it. Don't let the media frame Niger as reckless or unstable. They are just reclaiming what belongs to them, and that is something to respect. So support independent African voices. Question these international narratives, because until people see how the system really works, it keeps working exactly as planned. This isn't just Niger's fight. It's our battle. And the more we talk about it, the more light we bring to the truth that's been hidden for too long. If this message resonates with you, hit the subscribe button, drop a comment, and share your thoughts. The world is waking up, and this time, Africa is not backing down. Guys, thank you for watching. I'm out. Peace.